Hi everyone, welcome back if you've been here before, welcome if you're new. My name is Stephanie and this is Stephanie Builds Wealth. On this channel, am doing a little bit of an experiment as a first generation American in this country. I am learning how to do financial literacy and incorporating my training in psychology to understand why we do what we do with money, why we feel the way we do with money, and how that affects our young adult life when we start earning money and as we become mature adults with more financial responsibilities, why we do what we do with money. And I'm documenting this journey just to hold myself accountable and just as a social experiment to share these experiences with other people that I am very confident are in similar situations or have the same feelings or experiences. So if that seems like something you're interested in, feel free to jump on the wagon and let's go. This is January's mantra. I like to do little psychology hacks with NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, which is how you retrain your neural thought ways to create new ones and override negative thought ways. And the mantra for January is I am wired for success. I am very happy to say that I've done a great deal of inner work and had a lot of uncomfortable experiences and revelations that were good and surprising, that I can say these positive affirmations to myself that I am wired for success without any internal dialogue or any negative internal talk or pushback. So January's mantra, which will be coming to an end soon, is I am wired for success. And I do believe that I'm wired for success. I do believe that you are wired for success as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up our, well, I guess I should backtrack. So we're going to set up our budget for the end of January. And I say that because even though I'm paid bi-weekly, there is a bit of an update. So on the 19th of January, I finally finished my final deposit for US Bank that will give me the $500 credit for opening up a checking bonus with them. Literally on Saturday morning, I spent all morning transferring everything back over and resetting my accounts to SoFi. Because SoFi pays me on Wednesday morning and they have high yield savings accounts and they just have really good financial products that I feel are best suited for me. I have set up my deposits to go into my sinking funds for my Amazon Prime, my car registration, and my Republic service. If there's anything left, I would hope to put it into my emergency fund, but funds are very tight right now. With my tax return, I was really hoping to get $4,000 to $5,000 back. Adding my mortgage interest, I paid about $6,100 last year in mortgage interest. I got back just under $2,000, which is enough to pay off my Affirm. So I will no longer have an Affirm payment. Fantastic. I unfortunately am still very short in the month. I was really hoping that the tax return and my pay increase would help me get rid of this short, but my pay increase for this year was 2%. It is only an extra $25 per paycheck. So I am unfortunately still short. My solution for this is I'm going to be looking for remote positions for virtual assistant, for contracted work through TaskRabbit. I'm really hoping that with this, by the end of this quarter, that I will have this resolved. So I am going to update where I'm at with my current pay cycle, and then we're gonna set up the pay cycle for January 31st, which would be SoFi. Yay. Oh my, you guys, I cannot tell you how fantastic it is to be paid on Wednesday morning. It is such a game changer. Huge, 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 huge. Okay, so we're gonna set this up. This was for the 19th. Now I had to fix a couple things. I was not able to give myself miscellaneous money, and I was not able to put money into my emergency fund because I was just too short. With paying all the necessities, I was only going to be able to have a balance of $22.02 total. That's not including miscellaneous. That's not including emergency fund. That's literally paying the necessities. So unfortunately, I was not able to hit everything that I wanted to do. Groceries, that was already transferred, that was done. This just went through, okay? Loan consolidation just went through. Colonial Life overpay, that still has not gone through yet. I sent that check out. I sent that check out on the 8th of January. They have still not cashed it. It is the 23rd of January. I sent it out on the 8th. They have still not cashed this check. Also, I have sent out the check for the state on the 19th. So I'm hoping by the end of the month, they'll cash it. Bank, credit card, this was done. School loan is not done yet. Bank West, car note, not yet. State, not yet. T-Mobile, not yet. Care Credit, not yet. Amazon, not yet. Republic Service, I did take care of that. Car registration, Amazon Prime, Republic Service, sinking funds, all taken care of. Discover 2, was not able to do that. I was not able to put an extra $100 towards that. So we are going to, I'm gonna have to pull from February since I'm now gonna get paid 3 times this month instead of 2. So I'm going to take the forms from February and replace them. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna put my calendar here in front of me. Also I will need to take out the calendar for February because I'm getting paid that it's gonna have to come into the middle of next month. I always wonder when people say they have extra paychecks and they get paid 3 times a month because I have never experienced an extra paycheck. The way that I get paid as a bi-weekly paid person every 14 days, if I get paid 3 times in January, there's no free paycheck because I have to make this paycheck last an extra week since I get paid in the middle of the following month now. I don't know how people have extra paychecks. I've never had an extra paycheck in my life. I don't know. I don't know, maybe I guess if you make a lot more money, then it lasts longer maybe. Or if you have 2 incomes with your partner, maybe that's the secret. But I have never experienced just having a free 3rd paycheck out of nowhere. All right, so let's see. We are gonna do, it's gonna be January 31st into February. So we'll say, we'll do this. We'll do January 31st to February 14th. Oh, that's Valentine's Day. Oh, that's fun. Yay, maybe I should do pink. I think my pink might be running out though. All right, so we're gonna do, the date is gonna be 1/31, and that is gonna be rollover. What was the amount? It was 2202. That was going to be rolled over. 2202. This is going to be payday. This will be 2088.92. That will be on the 31st. Description, we'll just say income. And I'm going to visualize extra income coming in from TaskRabbit and YouTube. I'm just gonna speak that into existence since I'm actively doing the work to make this happen. I'm building the foundation and building the framework. Okay, so this is gonna be 2202 plus 2088.92 is going to be 210.94. All right. All right, this is gonna be a tight check because we need to put in the mortgage for February in the January 31st. Okay. All right, so we're gonna do mortgage due on the 1st to the 15th, amount $994.88. Actual, that is the actual. This is manual pay. This is fixed. We're gonna do HOA. That is on the 5th. $336, folks, for a 21-year-old neighborhood that looks like it's 21 years old. It's bittersweet. My dream home that is 15 minutes away from here has an HOA of like $315 a month. And I thought, that's a lot for an HOA. And then the neighborhood that you get for that $315 a month versus the neighborhood that I have for $336, it makes me feel that when I get to my dream home, the $315 will be a piece of cake because I know what $336 got me, and it wasn't great. It wasn't cute. Wasn't loving it. So I know I can pay this. I know that I will be glad to cut a $315 check every month for a gorgeous, well-kept, high-end luxury neighborhood. So bittersweet. It's becoming to be more sweet than bitter as time goes on. What we were told with the HOA is that by January 2025, the special assessment will drop off. And instead of this being $336, the HOA will go to $165. I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? Actual, yes, this is auto pay. We'll say it's fixed for now. We have progressive. At the 5th, this is $188.66. That's the actual. This is auto pay. This is fixed. Mattress is due on the 10th. Actually, let me update that because that's not correctly reflecting my financial story here. Is this not working? There we go. So the amount that I'm paying is $100. The actual is $98. This is auto pay. We'll say that's variable. Should we? Yeah, sure. No, it's not variable. I'm choosing to pay more than what it is. It doesn't change on its own. So we'll say that's fixed. What next? $994.88 for the mortgage. $336 for my ridiculous HOA. $188 for progressive minus $100 for the mattress. Okay. So it looks, oh shoot, my sinking funds, those are non-negotiable. Sinking funds. Every payday, and that is going to be $55.33. That's the actual, that's manual, we'll say that's variable, minus 55.33 brings it down to $436. I'm gonna have to put in gas. Payday is going to be $40. That's the actual, that's manual. We'll say that's fixed for now. You know what, we'll put that as variable because I'm gonna have to be driving a lot more soon, so that is gonna have to be going up. Okay, gas is $3.96 plus groceries every payday, and this is going to be $250. That's the actual. This is a manual. I have automatically set up in my work portal that $250 automatically be sent to my 360 Capital checking account, and I use my Capital 360 credit card to buy groceries, and I use the balance of my checking account to pay that off. So This is manually set up. It is automatically routed from my paycheck into my Capital One 360 checking account. Okay, minus 250 brings it down to 146. How much wiggle room can I give myself for miscellaneous? I'm gonna have to buy some personal items and some cat items. If I take 60, that's 80. And then I can put 30 into emergency fund. Oh, that's a big buffer. Isn't that funny that $56.07 is like exciting because my previous buffer was $22 with no miscellaneous and no emergency savings? Very excited right now, right? Right. Okay, so we'll do that. Emergency fund is going to be we'll payday with an asterisk because maybe. $30. This is definitely manual. This is definitely variable. Miscellaneous. Miscellaneous, we'll do payday. We'll do 60 for this one because I know I have to do a couple things. That is actual, this is manual, this is variable for sure. You know what? That's not true because I need to pay Discover 2 over here. So let me redo this because this is not gonna work. Discover 2, this is due on the 2nd and this is gonna be $43. That's gonna be the actual, that's gonna be manual, that's gonna be variable. Okay, so let's do that instead. All right. Minus 250 minus 43 is 90. So then we'll do $93.07. All right, so then we'll do okay. We'll do miscellaneous will be 50. That will be actual, that will be manual, that will be variable. All right, and then we'll do sinking fund, we'll do emergency. Sinking fund, we'll do $20. This is every payday. This is payday with an asterisk. We'll do $20 to emergency fund. This will be manual. This is variable. And that will leave me with $23.07 as a buffer. Okay. All right, so everything's covered. Isn't that funny? A second ago, I was really excited that it's gonna be $56. All right, so that is gonna be the update. So how do I feel about this? Let's talk about this. How do I feel about this? I feel recognizing that my pay increase was horrible considering the volume of work that I put out to the company and the realization that my leadership doesn't have a clue if I even got a raise this year, nor do they care. So I have been feeling that my income is a problem. I need to make more income. There's just no way about that. For the debt to income ratio that I have, the cost of living, aside from the debt, just the cost of living and how much life increases every single year, the note that I want to start a family, my parents are aging and getting older, I need to make more income. The income that I'm currently making is just not going to work. However, that being said, you need to think about things. You can't just get emotional and triggered and just want to jump from job to job, because let me tell you, I did that in my survival phase, transitioning out of the medical field. I took whatever job was available and it was a nightmare, okay? I mean, literally looking for work at the job you're at, knowing that this isn't going to cut it, and just rinse repeating over and over. That is a pattern that I recognized I was doing in survival mode. Entering my 40s era, I do not want to be in survival mode. I want to be in thrive mode. I want this next decade to be me paying off my debt in the next 2 to 3 years, earlier if possible. Like, let's just bring that into existence. My parents are getting older and needing care. The cost of living increases every single year. The savings goals that I have, the retirement goals that I have, children, family planning. Like, if I get a great offer from another company and I'm able to negotiate a good pay, I need to be making a minimum of 6 figures to be able to get some breathing room and significantly play catch up with my retirement and take care of my parents and have kids and life, all of the things. So it was I was feeling a lot of, how do I explain it? When I realized that I was getting back in taxes, I felt really happy. I felt great. This is great. I'm going to be able to pay off some things. When I realized that I wasn't going to be able to get like a penny of the $6,100 of the interest I paid on my mortgage, I was devastated. I don't know how people do it. I hear these people who are single, don't have kids, and somehow they manage to meet the threshold of the standard deduction, and they're able to get back every penny of interest or a significant chunk of their mortgage interest. I've never been able to do that. My parents have never been able to do that. It's just baffling to me. If I was able to get that $4,000 or $5,000, that would have been a game changer right out of the bat. I also realized in that same breath that this is a Band-Aid thought, okay? That is a Band-Aid thought that comes from scarcity thinking, that comes from insecure finances, right? Coming into a lump sum of money, unexpected, is a Band-Aid. When you look at your finances and realize, listen, at the end of the day, there are a good chunk of us that just need to take a look at the mirror, be honest with ourselves, and realize, I know that my value, my skill set that I bring to whatever job is worth more, and I need to be paid accordingly. And the immediate thought is, oh my gosh, but if I ask for more money, I'm gonna get fired, they're not gonna give it to me. Well, you know what? I hate to break it to you, but as a person who grew up in an at-will state, if a company is going to get rid of you, they're gonna get rid of you. And legally, in an at-will state, they don't have to give you a reason why. I've seen it in my lifetime with, casino mergers and management repositioning. My first surgical tech job, that place had been open since the 80s. There were people working there for 30 years. And then one day we had this new anesthesia team come in and say, everyone, we have a morning meeting. And these 15, 20 people went into their normal morning anesthesia meeting like they did every single day for years and years and years. And in a blink of an eye, every single one of those people were let go. You have to understand your value and what you bring to a job. I did not understand this growing up in an immigrant household where the idea is that you keep your head down, you don't cause any problems, you don't say anything, just always be grateful for the little bit that you have. And I didn't understand this till a couple years ago, that was a form of trauma thinking. It's a form of scarcity, trauma, and insecurity thinking, because where my parents came from, that literally was the case. And I shouldn't just say my parents, but if you are the child born in America from immigrant parents that came from other parts of the country, there was a great deal of fear and insecurity for them, because that was the best that they could hope for. It was just to get a job that was going to treat them like crap, but at least they're going to get paid consistently and get paid a little bit more than someone else, or maybe their previous job, right? So I, being firstborn generation in America, I have the entitlement of the American people, where I recognize that just as an employer looks at me and realizes, hey, there's 1,000 more of you, I can look at an employer and say, hey, there's 1,000 more of you also that desperately needs my skill set and that will pay me for my skill set. And I bring this back into the equation, okay? In 2022, I was job hopping literally just to survive, knowing that the job that I was getting was not going to be my career, was not going to pay me enough. I went from 45,953 to 65,950 in 12 months. This literally happened because I was laying in my backyard on a picnic blanket in the middle of summer, staring at the sky, and I was recognizing a pattern that around that time in summer, my financial situation would change, and I realized this is not working. I need to earn more, and the only way I'm going to get it is I fight for it, because no company is going to look at you and say, oh my God, yes, you're everything that we're looking for. Here's an amazing starting compensation package. And by the way, here's what you're going to get next years that you work with us. I had to go out and have an honest conversation with myself in the backyard that day and say, look, I have worked really hard in my 20 years of working as an adult and then as a child working odd jobs. I have an entrepreneurial mindset. I am capable of learning new skills very quickly and adapting to those skills to the job field that I'm in. I know that these skills are in demand. I know that there's companies out there that need them, and I know that there's companies that will pay really well to have them. Now, my hiccup entering this new job in this new career is I knew that I had a great skill set that they wanted. They put up with 4 different interviews over the course of 2 months in different states. Okay? I was doing interviews between here in Texas, here and Colorado, and finally got the interview when I met the vice president for my final interview, and I knew she wanted me. So I knew I had negotiating power. So I negotiated a very healthy starting package, like a starting salary package. What I did not do, and what I did not know I had to do until talking with my boyfriend, who is a C-level executive and worked his way up from entry-level position to C-level executive to making like mid-6 figures, is that once you get these jobs and you know that they need your skill set, you know that they're willing to play ball, they're willing to negotiate with you for your starting pay, you also have to cover your tail, right? Not just the front end, but on the back end. You have to negotiate also for me to continue staying with this company and learning and giving back to the company and being an asset to the company. I need to be making X amount of money in my reviews and my raises every year. So for example, when my boyfriend realized that he was going to move up, he knew he was going to do that. He knew he was going to move up very quickly because he had an excellent skill set. He's like an IT genius and his IQ is really high. And so he could look at all the pain points in the company and knew that he could fix them. So every year when it came time for him to negotiate, he would tell them, I've had a great time working with the company. I'm glad that I was able to take care of all these things for the company and improve the process and take care of all these pain points. And I would love to stay with the company. And in order for me to stay with the company, here's what I'm going to need. I'm going to need this type of raise, and I'm going to need every year after a 10% raise every single year for the next 4 years. And the company countered and said, we can't do that. We can give you 8. And he said, okay, between 8 and 10%, let's meet in the middle, and you will guarantee to give me a 9% increase in my salary for the next 4 years. And they agreed to it because they realized that, oh, he has the skill sets that we need to keep him, because it would make no sense for a company to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in salary, in benefits, in acquisition costs, and the time it would take to wait for another candidate like him to come into the picture. So I was having a hard time after my review and realizing that my tax return was not going to give me that windfall that I needed. And I realized, okay, I need to go back to the drawing board and I need to significantly increase my income. And I also know now that when I start doing interviews, not that I'm going to leave my company right now. And I'm saying that when I start to do interviews, this is like going to the gym. You have to practice and exercise doing interviews, practice and exercise answering questions, learning how to vet a company, learning how to be an advocate for yourself and negotiate a starting package and also a retention package for yourself, because the company is not going to do it for you. Unless you put them in a spot where they realize they have to, they're not going to do it for you. Moving forward, I'm going to be constantly updating my skill set every month or every quarter, opening myself up to interviews, practicing my interview skills, practicing my negotiation skills, practicing my retention skills, because now I'm finding myself in a situation that I got a great starting package, but my retention package is shit. And that's not going to work for me, because every month, until I can find a way to cover this short, every single month that I stay working at this pay with this company, I am negative $417.23 every single month. I am now at a job that I cannot afford to be at, and I also cannot afford to leave. So I don't have an FU money account where I can just leave and go find something better. I'm keeping myself open to looking for extra work with TaskRabbit to help cover this cost. But that, again, that's a Band-Aid. Right? I don't want to be working multiple jobs just to get by. I want to be working one job that pays me more than enough money that I need to cover my essentials, cover my sinking funds, cover my emergency fund, cover my retirement and investments, and have thousands left over that I know is liquid money. So if my mom gets sick or falls down and they don't have the money to cover it, I can take care of them. That is my financial strategy for 2024. Now that I know what my new pay is, how far my tax return is going to go, realizing that using my tax return as like my big break financially is silly. It's a Band-Aid thought. At the end of the day, I need to make more money, and I need to arm myself with the tools to make sure that I can not only get that higher pay, but keep it every single year. And I hope that this is inspiring to you. And I hope that if you do have parents that are immigrants like mine, and they were not able to give you advice like I was able to learn on my own, that I was able to get from my partner, to be, how do I say this? To give grace to your mom and dad or your aunt and uncle, whoever raised you, because if you were born in America, we do not have the trauma and the fear and the scarcity that our mom and dad did, that our aunt and uncle did. When they're telling you just get a job and be grateful, that is coming from fear. It is coming from trauma, because when they came to this country, just getting a job and shutting up and taking the abuse and being underpaid, that was lifestyles of the rich and famous compared to what they came from in their country. So, be grateful that you even have parents that were able to get you here, but show them some grace. I look at my mom and dad, and my thinking is fundamentally different because I have the entitlement of being born in America and knowing that I deserve better and knowing that I can go out there and fight for it. My mom and dad never had that. They never had that opportunity. The things that I can do as a woman in this country, my mom could never. Could never. In my dad's country, no. So I know that I have privilege, and honestly, knowing that I have that privilege makes me more passionate and drives me more to utilize that privilege to my advantage, to better our family, to improve our family legacy, and not let it go to waste. I know that there's opportunities here. I know that people get them. I know that I can get them. I just have to be strategic in how I position myself to get those things, and then strategic in how I maintain those things. So that is going to be my plan for 2024, recognizing my scarcity thinking that my tax return was going to be the be all end all. It was going to change the game for me. It's not. I don't have a spending problem. I have an income problem. And, the Band-Aid of the tax return is not going to cut it. Getting another job to just scrape by is not going to cut it. I need to really take this year to position myself with my current company if I'm able to stay there. And if I have another company that vets me and has a better offer and a better retention package, I'm obviously going to do that, because it makes no sense to stay at a company that I like being negative $417 for the next 12 months. Let me just do some math for you guys, okay? Let me just, maybe people need to see this. I'm a visual person, maybe people need to see this. If I just stay at this job and I don't open myself up to interviews and work up my skill set to negotiate a higher pay for next year, if I stay at this job a whole year and don't get hired anywhere else and don't go anywhere else, I'm just gonna show you something. $4.17.23 times 12 months, I will be negative $5,006.76 by the end of this year. I will add on to my debt right off the top. That's not including late fees, insufficient fund fees, interest fees by having to put things on my credit card because I don't have the money right now to get the thing like food or gas. My cat gets hurt. $5,000 plus. Like, if I didn't start my sinking fund for my car registration, that's easily an extra $300 right there, plus the smog. So I like where I'm at. I like the company. I like the flexibility I have. I like the perks. I do not like the pay that I have. And if I just pipe down and take it and be grateful for the 2% that I have, I am going to be in the negative $5,000 right off the top. And maybe you're looking at this and you're thinking, well, I like where I'm at. I don't want to cause any problems. It's already a problem for you because you are living every single month. You are losing money every single month. You are not being honest with yourself that it is costing you money to stay at a job that you cannot afford to be at because you're scared to leave it. You've been there for a while. You know how it works. There's really no more learning curve. There's no growth for you. It's done. If there's no more learning curve for you, then you're not adding any more value to your company because you're not learning anything new. Why would they give you more money? You're already showing them that you're willing to stay for the money that you have. Why would they give you more? You have no more value. We need to be looking at ourselves as independent contractors, because when companies are hiring for positions, they need someone to solve a problem. And how bad they need that problem solved and to have that problem continually solved year after year, that is your negotiating power. That is your value. And if the company you're at isn't seeing it, then you have to go somewhere else. I know the problem. I know what I need to do. I'm actively making plans to do that. And I really hope that that inspires you guys. I really do. I am taking advantage of me being born in this country, that I'm going to go for the things that I want because I know that I can. And I know that there's some place out there that needs those skill sets. That's my plan for 2024. And just remember that you have value, you have worth, and it's not a bad thing to recognize that you have value and that you can contribute. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have an amazing day, an amazing week.